The Black Legion have assaulted Imperial planet Admon Tertius, intent on subjugating it to their will. An ultra-marine force sent to defend the world has found itself beset on all sides by ancient enemies and new. Devotees of the Four-Armed Emperor have taken this opportunity to rise up. However, in their darkest hour, from on golden light they've come. The ADEPTUS Custodes have come to relieve the besieged Ultras and cover their flank as they charge out to meet the traitorous Black Legion. This is 40K in 40 Minutes, GameCon Special Series. Greetings 40K fans, JT the Voice here, and let me tell you, have we ever got a special one for you today? We have Daniel in studio from Red Claw Gaming, a judge from our GameCon narrative event last year with his GENESTEALER cults to square off against Nick and his Dreadwing Custodes in this narrative feast for the eyes.
This is the first of two missions that we're going to be playing back to back, where one game will affect the other. This game is also intended to be a bit evocative of our upcoming GameCon Canada. We have a couple guys that flew all the way from Edmonton to join us today.
I'm Daniel J. Schneider, Smashed Head, as I'm known online. We work and we represent Red Claw Gaming, who has partnered with PlayOn to help present the narrative tournament that PlayOn is running at GameCon.
We pride ourselves on story first, and each player is bringing a thematic list to this match in an effort to showcase exactly that.
I really enjoy playing the Custodes, and I'm playing the new detachment, which is all about Dreadnoughts, so I've decided to take a very silly list. I have 5 Dreadnoughts in this army. 5 Dreadnoughts! I just finished painting it last night.
I'm here today representing the McCraig's Workers Alliance, Union 2484, and I am here to tell you the good word about the benefits of our society. And it is currently under construction, so if anyone gets on it, we will be mad and we will have to enforce the union's contracts to keep you off the road.
We're also going to play with a few cool narrative rules as well as more narrative terrain and mission setup.
Our mission today is a version of Insurgency from the Leviathan Crusade book. All objectives will start in an unprimed state, and as the attacker, Daniel will need to action on an objective he controls at the end of his turn to prime the explosives, whereas Nick, as defender, will need to defuse those explosives. Daniel will score 20 points for each primed objective at the end of the game, and Nick will score 15 for each unprimed explosive marker. In addition, Chief Librarian Tigurius is stuck behind enemy lines and will need to escape in his Rhino with his Outrider escort. If he does so on the third turn, in the next game, TAC can use him as normal and deploy him. If he escapes on turn 4, he'll come on from reserves in the next battle from the second turn forward. But if it's on the 5th turn, he will be available from the 3rd turn on in the next game. Any damage Tigurius takes will also carry over, and if he dies, he dies.
Welcome here, Dan. So excited to have you here. We're going to play a fun narrative game here. This is the first of a 2-part mini-series. The next game played by your counterpart, Chaos Dan.
Chaos Dan.
And TAC. Look, they've already started playing. Because we want this to feel like one cohesive game. Like it's 2 games happening at once. So this is the battle happening over here while we're playing this battle right here.
We've got our stuff going on over here.
Our table is so much more narrative than normal. We haven't gone with a traditional GW layout, but we've just put lots of terrain that feels thematic. We've got the edge of a city going into more of an industrial zone, and it's been blown up and ravaged, and we're going to fight to the death to hold this city.
This episode is brought to you by Deadly Print Studios. The folks at Deadly Print Studios have almost a decade of experience working in the film and TV industry, blending traditional 2D and 3D effects on such projects as Game of Thrones and Jurassic World, and have taken that expertise and combined it with their love and passion for war games. From muzzle flashes to explosions, psychic and void shields to spent ammo casings and bullet deflections, Deadly Print has what you need to add that touch of immersion to your battlefields. Fully tested and supported, they have STLs for almost any battle effect you can imagine. Or if you prefer, you can order them pre-printed and shipped to you. We absolutely love the extra added effects provided by Deadly Print Studios, and you can see them not only in our studio armies, but our personal armies as well. Make sure to check out the link in the description below for all your Battle FX needs. Nick is definitely outnumbered here. However, he's got the firepower advantage for sure. It really is about flooding the field with bodies for Daniel and keeping Nick off the objective so he can prime those explosives and blow up the key targets within. Daniel has put all of his Acolytes in reserve, his Aberrants are inside his Rockgrinder, and his Kelermorph is also in reserve. Nick has deployed everything on the table.
I've deployed aggressively. Everything's on the line. Everything's ready to go forward and secure those objectives. I don't want him blowing up the city. On this side of the board, I have put my bikes, my Vertus Praetors. They are ready to jump up, take some objectives, just basically on the flank, threatening that. And I've also put beside it the Galatus Dreadnought. He'll be able to move faster, move through buildings if he wants to. Then in the center, I have my Flying V of Venerable Dreadnoughts. I have 3 equipped with Meltas and Storm Cannons. They're supported by a unit of Wardens with a Blade Champion. Blade Champion has the cool enhancement that Dreadnoughts within range of him, he could pick one of them and they could fall out of combat and still be able to do all the fun stuff. Then over here, I've got a unit of Guardians and an Achilles Contemptor Dreadnought. I love this thing, it's my favorite Dreadnought. That's my entire army. Last edition, no, we do have some, they're not really reinforcements, they are my objective here. Tigurius in an Impulsor with a unit of bikes surrounding it. They need to get back over here, and we need to get off this planet. The Ultramarines are fighting a desperate rearguard action to hold off the Black Legion until Tigurius can get to the evac. The so-called Workers' Alliance will not get far. Guess I play the role of the Union Busters in this mission? Guess I'm anti-greater good? What? Am I the bad guy?
You'll notice on my army, the McCraig's Workers Alliance, I've converted them up quite a bit. The biggest things is I'm converting them to kind of represent pre-Ascension. This is half of my army, so I've got my big blob of 20 Neophyte Hybrids with my Iconward, Pat Diaz, supporting them to give them that 5-up feel no pain. They're gonna have some survivability with bringing back units. We've got the Espendor Surveyors Union, which is my Atalan Jackals, coming up here for a scout movement to hopefully prime some bombs right there. My guys are really fragile. They can hit, they can kind of punch above their class weight, but they can't take a hit. So I need to make sure that they are protected as much as I can. And then we've got Roy Smalls. This is my Rockgrinder with the Aberrants in it. Got some cool slave Ogrins from Necromunda to represent my Aberrants and Abominant. Gonna kind of try and position here. He's my big heavy, so hopefully he can actually do something. Reductus Saboteur, Mads Finnegan right there. They're gonna stay there, and hopefully you'll forget about them so that I can explode things.
I kind of already did.
We've got my Ridgerunner right here, Eddie the Fluke, and he's come up here with the Sandlior Law Dogs, Atalan Jackals, and Boss Dixie Gallows, my Jackal Alphus. My Jackal Alphus is probably my favorite and the piece de resistance in this army. She has been converted lovingly out of an AOS model, and they're trying to get in front of them so that I can barricade him and stop him from assisting attack against Chaos Dan. Primus has left the board so that I have...
Oh my!
I have all of that.
That's like a whole
waiting.
other army.
Yeah. Just a few guys. They're just a few guys that have taken a lunch break and may return once they have had their allotted 15-minute...
Well, there's no role to go first, because in this scenario, the defender goes first.
Yes.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Good luck.
Let's do this.
Yeah. Ooh, solid handshake. Ooh. All right, so we're gonna start with my turn.
But wait! Just like our GameCon narrative, each player gets a secret mission which will trigger something fun and silly should they complete it. Nick's been given Draw Them Into a Trap. The mission card reads, have your opponent nominate one of the No Man's Land objectives, and you don't need to tell them why. This objective is completed when at the end of any of your player turns, the enemy controls that objective. So literally, he wants to draw them into an objective for some reason. Daniel's chosen the top left for that objective.
The one easier for me to get.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No.
The one that I can just jump on top of?
Yeah,
I love it. It's
yeah.
great.
I think we'll find out. We'll find out.
So I think I'm just going to push away from that objective and encourage him to come on. Never mind.
Daniel's been given Deploy Explosives. He's asked Nick to nominate a terrain piece in his deployment zone, and again, doesn't have to tell him why. If a unit from his army is wholly within that terrain piece, they may perform an action to plant explosives. You must tell your opponent that that's what you were doing. Action completes the end of turn, and the building now explodes, dealing D3 mortal wounds to any units within the terrain feature and within 6 inches of said terrain feature, and then that terrain feature is removed.
So that could be this piece right here?
Yes.
That could be this piece right here?
Yes.
That could be the craters, I'm
Yes.
guessing?
He's chosen the top left building for this.
I'm trying to read your expression. Is that good or bad? I can't tell. I can't tell! I can't read them. On to first turn. Before I go further, do you want to do any scout moves?
Yes, I will do a scout move.
Scoring in this one's going to be pretty straightforward, doesn't happen till the end of the game, so we go right to the movement phase. Here comes the Achilles, advancing only 3 inches, so no advance charge this turn. Custodian Guard move up as well.
we have to get Tigurius off the board. Ideally, we do it in turn 3, because then Tak gets to use him right away. If we do it any later, Tigurius is delayed coming into Tak's army. And I know Tak will be very disappointed in me if I don't do it.
The bikes and the Impulsor advance to try to get Tigurius in his White Scars limousine off the far left board edge.
Boop, the venerable dreadnoughts.
I don't like speedy dreadnoughts.
Lots of repositioning from Nick here. He's got some shots, but not very many.
So we're gonna start with this venerable dreadnought, my first one, and he's gonna fire his bolter and his assault cannon. The assault cannon on hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s.
5-up saves, followed by a 5-up feel no pain. 5-up, 5-up. Hey!
Did he just save every single one? Okay. The commie bolter.
4-up. 5-up.
I kill one!
Ah!
Then we're gonna go with the next venerable dreadnought, equipped with meltas into your bike squad. Hopefully I can whittle down some of these mortal wounds that might be coming at me. 3s.
Whoa.
You take.
Cindy, you can go.
Then the commie bolter in rapid fire range.
4-up save.
1 damage. And then the next venerable dreadnought is gonna fire into it as well, but it's gonna start with his bolter to try to take that 1 damage off first. Also in rapid fire range. Because your stealth, triple 6s.
4-ups. Kill 1. And that will wound another.
Then the multi-melta fires at that same bike squad.
Whew.
The first one does 5 damage and kills a guy. The next one does 5 damage and kills another one.
All right, this is going well.
Next, we're gonna take my bike squad, and they're gonna fire into your vehicle. Because I know it's not smart to take off the last model in the unit, because it'll just come right back.
It'll come right back.
2 salvo launchers into your vehicle back there.
2s.
Both hit. Ooh, 1 wound, twin linked.
No.
Plus 1 damage. Take 4. Guardians are all gonna fire into your bikes. 3s. Yep.
6s. Killed a bike, all right.
Nick using their once per game shoot again, and he's managed to take out another 2 bikes.
You're not supposed to be lucky with the orange dice.
Orange is the color of Michelangelo, so the spirit of Michelangelo has entered me.
All right, well, that is all I can do.
Okay, that turn 1 was incredible. I didn't lose nearly as much as I thought I would.
He staged forward. There's not a lot in it yet. Daniel really weathered the shots he took from Nick. He's primed to go after some targets here, and he's got a ton of units in reserve, but he really needs to start setting explosives quick.
So we're gonna try and retaliate as best as I can.
Excellent. Now draw your secondaries.
Okay, second, go.
1 battle shock to take, and that's on the quad. Oh, it's failed. That's unfortunate.
The Ridgerunner is gonna move.
The battle shock Atalan Jackal quad moves within 6 inches of the Dreadnought wing and drive-by demolitions for a mortal wound. I'm referring to the triple contemptors as the Dreadwing because it sounds hilarious. Atalan Jackals now, same thing. Drive-by demos into the Custodian Guard, just a single mortal wound.
We're gonna move into our shooting phase. Ridgerunner is going to fire at the Wardens, hoping that some of these mining lasers really pop off for me. Mining laser!
4-up save!
Rapid fire range with the twin heavy stubbers. Twin linked, 5s.
2 more saves.
Save made. However, that unit's marked with a crossfire token, so any units attacking it will get an extra pip of armor penetration. Atalan Jackals grenade the Custodian Guard, 4-ups for mortals.
All right, here comes the bikes. I knew this was coming. A lot of mortal wounds incoming.
And he does 4. Vexel is down. There goes the extra objective control for that unit.
Now we're gonna move on to Boss Dixie Gallows, and she's gonna shoot at it. Sniper rifle. No! Oh! The rest of the Atalan Jackals are attacking the same unit as well. We're doing a mining laser. It is hitting on a 4. Just have a bunch of shotguns. Hitting on 4s. No successes.
But everything else is targeting that unit will get reroll 1s to hit him. He really doesn't like the Wardens.
We're gonna shoot with the Wolf Quad for my Atalan Jackals that's left there. He's gonna shoot with his mining laser at the Dread. Hitting on a 4. Why are you battle shocked?
20-man Neophytes now, long-range guns into the Wardens, shorter range, trying to plank off wounds from the Contemptor Dreadnought.
The mining laser, 4s. Perfect.
Here we go. Oh, it's only 2 damage!
Oh, took a command reroll, but a Warden is down.
Everyone hurts. It's like a little piece of my family dies.
Grenade launchers that you're gonna go into crack grenades.
Another one takes a crack grenade for only a single point of damage.
10 weenie guns.
Small arms into the Dreadnought, nothing.
The Rockgrinder is gonna get in there. We're gonna attack Tigurius.
I'm sorry, Tag.
Heavy mining laser gets D3 shots. Ah! The heavy stubber.
Hoorah! Oh, it goes through!
Alphus falls back with her Master Outrider move. Try to keep that unit safe for yet another turn.
A lot of my army is known for being fickle, and so they decided to not really show up just yet. That is the end of my turn. On to you.
No command points left for Daniel, 2 command points for Nick as we end turn 1. This is an interesting board state. The Custodes moved carefully through the ruins. The Ultramarines' warnings were well heeded. The Uprising was not the first they'd quelled, however, its existence was not at all foreseen. Most insurgents were not as organized or militant, and the Custodes were on their guard for certain. Carefully, they picked their way through the rubble, using the advanced sensors in the archaic Dreadnought chassis to detect any anomalous movement in the detritus of the Imperial ruins.
The Ultramarines said they need our help. I see no infestation here. The cultists are clever, Custodian Constantine. Seismic sensors are detecting vehicles and underground movement. Scanners are off the charts. In the Emperor's name, we stand ready.
Nick up to 3 command points, Daniel to 1.
I have no battle shocks test to make, so we go straight into the mood phase. We have to keep in mind, not only can he bring guys back that I kill, but he also has so much in reserves. I'm gonna attempt a brave, amazing, heroic charge into your back line.
Starting his movement with advancing his Contemptor Dreadnought, using Relentless Persecution for a command point, that's going to give it advance and charge. However, the Reductus Saboteur is in range of its primed explosives ability, and the Dreadnought takes 5 mortal wounds for its trouble.
I'm okay with this. You know why? Because my Dreadnoughts get better as they get damaged. Better hit and better wounding.
Achilles Dread moves up now, closing on the Atalan Jackals. Assault Cannon Dread also closing on the Jackals. Custodian Guard move up also. Wardens move forward to position. Virtus Praetors looking like they're staging here. I think the mining lasers have got him spooked. Galatus Dread in behind the Praetors.
I'm basically forming a protective U for Tigurius.
Tigurius advances.
Tigurius needs to get off the battlefield minimum turn 3.
And a command reroll, another 1. Is that Impulsor gonna get off the board? Bikes wrapping the Impulsor in a protective shield.
In the shooting phase, we're gonna start with this Dreadnought, and is very mad at this Reductus Saboteur.
Oh no.
That Saboteur just sneaky there and do its mortal wounds, well, take a melt to the face. So you get melted.
Ouch, kabibble!
Another melt of Venerable Dreadnought right here.
Second Melted Dread fails to hurt the Rockgrinder. Achilles Dreadnought now, flaming the bikes and Dread Spear into the Rockgrinder.
Double flamers into the bikes.
Quad to 1 wound remaining.
Dread Spear fires at you.
Rockgrinder down to 3 wounds left.
We're gonna go with the Custodian Guard then, and they're gonna fire all their spears into your Goliath Rockgrinder. If I can pop that vehicle, that means the Aberrants have to get out, and then I can shoot all my beautiful flamer shots and melt shots at it.
Custodian Guard take the Rockgrinder to a single wound. Last Dreadnought, Assault Cannon and Stormbolter. Can he down it? There's a devastating wound from the Assault Cannon. Down goes the Rockgrinder. No explosion and no casualties on the disembark. That's a bit of luck.
The shooting phase is done. We're gonna go on to the charge phase.
Charge phase now. Venerable Contemptor Dread can charge, needs a 7 on dice, and 3 is a fail.
3.
Command reroll.
And I'm not using these dice anymore.
Here it is, a 5. He fails. That's 2 command points and a failed charge. That is not good. Achilles Dreadnought reaches the Ridgerunner.
Wait, Doc. Tigi's still alive. It's turn 2.
Yeah.
But there's no way he's getting out.
I get Tigi on turn 3.
Minimum turn 2 at this point. Yes, we'll see. I'm doing my best here. I'm doing my best.
Contemptor fails to charge into the Jackals as well, which will block out the other Dreadnought from charging straight in.
The Custodian Guard are gonna charge those bikes.
Custodian Guard are into the Jackals. Second Dreadnought can't make the 8 required. That's really no good for Nick.
I gotta say, this was probably one of the worst turns of charging I could have done.
Wardens make the deep charge into the quad.
Well, this was going to be an epic turn, and then it turned into a bit of a fizzle. So let's see if I can kill the stuff that I'm in combat with. Let's start with the Achilles Dreadnought.
Achilles Dreadnought into the Achilles Ridgerunner. Say that 3 times quickly with a single mortal on the charge.
Then we get into fighting. He's got 5 attacks, hitting on 2s.
Woo! 5s.
Oh, all the wounds say but 1, and still he picks it up. Wowie, wow.
Let's go play on logo. Oh.
Next, the Custodian Guard are going to try to eliminate your bike and your Jackal Alphus.
Sustained hits Kata for the Custodian Guard. Jackals and Jackal Alphus are down.
Lastly, my Wardens on your 1 bike.
All right.
5 attacks. Sustained hits for the Kata. Another 2 hits.
Cool.
3s.
Wardens drop the last wolf quad, and Daniel decides to bring them back for 3 reinforcement points. He's got 7 left.
All those charges failed meant I don't have these big golden boys in my lines. I need to take advantage of this with some really good deep strikes.
And a Nick's turn 2, and failed charges are the story thus far. All of Daniel's reserves can now come in, and boy howdy, does he have a lot. Start of Daniel's turn 2, Nick gets a command point, Daniel goes to 2.
We don't have any battle shock because Nick
killed
just
everything.
Murdered.
No movement, straight to reinforcements. 5 Acolytes with pistols on the right side are in. 5 more Acolytes with pistols are in on the left side objective. 10 Neophytes with Primus are 9 inches behind the Impulsor with Tigurius in it. 5 more Acolytes with pistols are into his center board with Magus attached.
Reverend Bo Buchanan and Theodore. Now, I should mention, you do not shoot Theodore. Theodore is precious, Theodore is incredible, and he is an innocent bystander in all the grim darkness of the 40 universe. 5
Acolytes with demo chargers and flamers spending a command point on tunnel crawlers. They've got demo charges. This could be big.
That is the end of my movement phase. Start of the shooting phase, we are going to declare the action with these guys. They are going to prime that explosive.
I can't help but feel Daniel should have done this turn 1 as well.
Acolytes with the bombs are going to shoot at the bestowed wardens.
Nick pops his once per game 4-up, feel no pain. Only 2 hits. 1 wounded AP2 for 2 damage, and Nick saves 1.
Now we have the angry blow dryers, they're hand flamers.
Hand flamers apparently forgot to take their safeties off. Wow.
This was all part of the plan. We're gonna go with these guys. They are going to shoot into our big old dreadnought.
Nick with flawless construction for a command point to try to save his dreadnought. Now he can't overwatch. Oh boy.
What?
The mining lasers fail.
You're welcome. Ha!
I save it.
Rapid fire range, 12 guys. 6s, 1 save.
Go, saves it.
Primus and friends trying to hurt the Impulsor and stop Tigurius. No joy.
That went well. Acolyte Hybrids with Autopistols are gonna fire their 2 Autopistols at that guy. Reverend Bo Buchanan, my Magus, will also fire.
Try to down the wounded warden. Again, no joy.
A few fails on our shooting, that's okay. We're not gonna do good in the shooting phase. This turn is all about the fight phase. So charge phase.
5-man Acolytes on the left side, charging the Achilles Dread in with a 12. Aberrants with Abominant attached into the Custodian Guard, and a 6 means he can kind of charge where he needs to and then tag the Dreadnought on his pile-in. Nick could be in trouble. Acolytes with Magus make their 9-inch charge into the Wardens. Primus and Neophytes fail their 9-inch though. He can still do some work here.
Daniel can make all his charges, but can he kill something?
Mining weapons first into the Dreadnoughts.
Which I do save.
Acolytes into the Achilles, no damage. Ouch!
That's the narrative of the game, is we come in hot and then just like, whoa, we get gassed out right at the finish line.
Aberrants now piling into the Custodian Guard and the Achilles Dread.
5 Aberrants into the Guard, 1 Abominant into the Achilles Dreadnought.
Abominant whiffs. Oh no, I've seen that guy pick up a battle wagon. This could be bad.
All 4-ups, here we go.
1 model remaining. Well, that's pretty decent.
And we all know what I need. I only need a single Custodian to win this game.
The Acolytes into the Custodian Wardens with the Magus there for support. Moral support, mostly.
Or my Custodian dies, vengeance will be had.
Nothing. It is your retaliation, Nick.
Warden's clapping back. This could be bad.
Hoorah!
Toughness 3.
He's gonna try to kill the pony.
You're gonna go for
Yes,
Theodore?
he's gonna try to kill the pony!
What is wrong with you? Please, Theodore, please.
No one!
Oh, yup. Dead squad and character.
Run away, Theodore.
And he leaves, and he runs away, and he leaves. How could you go for Theodore? He is the light in the grim darkness of the far future.
Then my 1 Custodian Guard in your Aberrants.
5 ups. 5s. So 1 guy dead, 2 wounds onto one of them.
Achilles Dread mortal wounds the Aberrants and now swings into the Aberrants as well.
Hoorah!
Only 2 wounds, but that's 2 dead Aberrants.
Now that's the end of the turn. Before we go further, did you want to bring back this unit with your reserve points?
Down to 5 insurgent points remaining. Those 5 neophytes will return.
So you've got 1 primed objective right now.
Yes.
So you've got the explosives ready. So that means you will score 20 points into the game if this is still primed for explosives. However, these all count as unprimed, which means I get 15 for each one. So you need to take at least another away from me to tie up the game here. However, we don't go to turn 3 yet because I have achieved my secret objective.
What?
End of the turn, Daniel controls that objective. Nick has completed his secret mission, draw them in.
Now, if we were in our narrative tournament in Edmonton coming up in June, that would get you points for your team. However, in this, what's gonna happen is there is gonna be a narrative consequence that JT is going to tell us what happened.
What is the special effect? Oh, what's my list tell me? I think Orbital Strike makes sense. But oh no, it scatters 9 inches and actually hits Nick's units. It seems the GENESTEALER cultists have messed with the targeting cogitators of the Imperial gunners, and it's done 2 mortals to both the Dreadnought and the Virtus Praetors.
It just went straight into his lines, helped me out. I'm hoping that Tigerius will actually be near there. And Nick will try and protect his units and leave a lane open for Tigerius to move next to that building, and then he can fall into my trap.
And that completes turn 2 on to turn 3.
Can Daniel just keep tagging objectives and make Nick's life painful? Let's find out. Turn 3 is coming up. From below they burst forth, surrounding and harassing the Golden Host. Small arms fire and even rocks bounce off Aramite amidst repurposed mining lasers. The Custodes press forward, but the storm of fire from the insurgents sees their armor begin to chip and crack. How long can they weather such an onslaught?
For the four-armed Emperor! For the Star Guards! Drive them from our lands! We shall ascend! Ascension Day is here!
On to Nick's turn 3 now, and all battle shocks are passed.
Now, it is time to murder. Going into turn 3, I think what I've got to do here is I got to charge everything. It's really what's going to happen. My army is better in combat. I got to charge. Get them off these objectives.
Nick's up to 1 command point, Daniel to 2.
So that means I'm within 9 inches of your blip. Your blip goes away.
My blip does not go away.
What? What do you mean?
The Iconward, Pat Diaz here.
Acolyte Iconward moves it back behind his squad. That is big. It takes Nick's bikes out of it for this turn, and he could use their guns.
Another thing I got to really worry about is Tigerius is still very, very far.
Tigerius Impulsor finally gets a decent advance and zooms forward 6 inches.
Not quite enough to get off the board this turn. However, I think it'll be enough to get the board next turn.
I might have to put a speed bump in the way.
Go zoom,
Nyum.
zoom.
Wounded Contemptor rushing the 20-man Neophyte squad. Melted Dreadnought closes with the beleaguered Achilles.
So that's going to go to the end of my moon phase. Would you like to rapid ingress something or use your cult's ambush rules?
All right, we are going to plop these Acolyte Hybrids, and then we will have my horsies.
Oh, they're coming back. Into shooting phase.
Shooting phase now, Contemptor Dread with Assault Cannon into the 10 Neophytes in Primus. Oh, 5 dead. Achilles melts the Acolytes in combat with it.
Sword-armed Dreadnought. He's got a single flamer.
Manages to kill a single Acolyte only.
Custodian Wardens are all going to fire into your hand flamer Acolytes.
Kills 2.
And then last shooting of my turn is going to be the Venerable Dreadnought that's been so damaged. 2s.
Heck yeah.
First one does, though. Second one does. Then the Combi Bolter fires at you.
Kill 3, but return to the shadows for a command point, sees them get picked up, and deny Nick his charge.
3 turns I've been trying to get into them. 3 turns, Daniel! He's been trying so hard. Can't you see him with his measly few wounds? He just wants to kill some neophytes.
Charge phase now, Contemptor Dreadnought charging the Primus squad. That's an 8 on dice, he's in.
This Venerable Dreadnought and charge into your Aberrants.
A 3 just makes it into the Aberrants. Galatus successfully charges the Acolytes. Contemptor charging the Atalan Jackals. fails.
One command point!
Command reroll still fails.
Estonian Wardens charge in, and they, of course, they get the 11.
Hey,
There we go.
there we go.
The Achilles Dreadnought can do mortal wounds to you on a 4-up.
All right.
He does not. Let's kill these guys.
Yep.
He super unalives the Acolytes. His kung fu is pretty good.
These Acolytes are going to be killed by the Wardens.
The Wardens have eviscerated the demo charge Acolytes.
Venerable Contemptor Dreadnought. Choose with sustain.
Only 3 dead Acolytes.
With the Venerable Dreadnought. Here we go.
Another Contemptor wipes the Aberrants. Last one fights on death, and sadly, no damage.
Abominant is gonna go into Flamer guy. I'm not gonna kill him, but I did 7 damage.
He makes 3 Feel No Pains, only takes 4 wounds. Wow!
Then he attacks you with 5 dice. He gets a sting.
We're gonna try for it.
Are you serious?
Oh my! 26 5-ups? Never give up, never surrender.
Primus, the Cult Bone Sword for 5 attacks.
Down to 9 wounds remaining.
Toxic Injector Claw.
Save it.
Go idiots. No AP?
No.
No? Oh.
Does your Abominant stand up? You need a 2-up.
Oh no!
Don't worry, I got you, Nick. I knew you were having a tough time, so I made sure that this wouldn't come back to haunt you.
Last 5 insurgent points to bring back the Aberrants. They're gonna be a cult ambush. Oh, I don't know if they actually help here, but man, oh man, what an absolutely crazy turn. On to Daniel's turn 3 now. He's still got a primed objective. 3 Neophytes have come back to the squad on the table, as well as 3 in reserve.
He's overwhelming me with his power, but if I can just make him do fiddly little work with those giant golden hands, that can help me out.
The Atalan Jackals drive-by demolitions takes the Dreadnought down to a single wound remaining. The Aberrants have returned to that top board edge. Looks like he's going to try to make a play for the Impulsor. Kelermorph in on the top center objective. 5 Acolytes are in deep in Nick's zone as well. 20-man squad drops in deep too. I think the Virtus Praetors and possibly that Contemptor Dreadnought could be in trouble.
Prime the explosives with the Acolytes with pistols over here.
Should have phased now. Primed and ready for a command point. That means 5s are going to be sustained hits. I gotta think the Primus made more sense here in this squad, as full rerolls to hit with 20 dudes is just better than with the 10, but this is part of the narrative. We don't necessarily make the most tactically sound choices, we make the fun ones.
So we're gonna start off with my mining lasers. They failed on the 4s. The seismic cannons on those Neophytes. They did nothing. 2 crack grenades.
4s.
Bah!
Go down to 2 wounds.
2 flamers, D6 shots apiece.
Oh no!
Ba-ba!
All the saves and all the whiffs! A Virtus Praetor on a single wound!
Shotguns and mining lasers. So first up, the mining laser.
These bites could possibly take out this Dreadnought by themselves with those mortal wounds.
Whoa! Yes!
Whoa!
Oh!
No problem.
1 crack grenade on an Atalan Jackal. 4s. Nope, nothing. 3 Atalan small arms.
Oh my, the 5-up invuln save has made the Contemptor is also gonna live!
Charges. That's what we're going into.
Aberrants reach the Impulsor.
The Aberrants made it!
That is a successful road bump. That means Tigurius is not getting off in turn 4. Tack's gonna be very upset with me.
My teammate, Nick, I entrusted with my Chief Librarian. And Chief Librarian Tigurius is going to be late.
The Acolytes fail into the Virtus Praetor. Command reroll still fails.
That's okay. It wasn't meant to be.
The Neophytes have also failed. Atalan Jackals now into the 1 wound Contemptor. Success.
Atalan Jackals are coming in with 4 power weapons. On 6s!
The Atalan Jackals have failed to wound the Dreadnought.
Aberrants, they are going into Tigurius. That's all I needed. I just needed to show you that I was there. I just knocked on the door. It goes to you.
Slightly wounded Venerable Dreadnought.
Nope.
It's everyone by the Primus and the banner.
And the banner.
The Impulsor rams into you.
5 up. 5 up.
Tigers inside is like, oh, I've got such a headache.
Primus fighting back.
Down to 8 wounds remaining.
Extra attacks from the Toxic Claw Injector. Rerolling. Heck yes, nothing. So 1 idiot.
How come you call your guys idiots?
It's a loving idiot. Like they're just meant to be bodies. Just die, and that's their use. Hitting on a 4. Nothing. That's why he's an idiot.
My Dreadnought into your bikes.
The Contemptor kills the Atalan Jackals. Oh no! End of his turn though, Daniel has primed a second objective. He has still not completed his secret mission. Nick has completed his secret mission and has a command point left. From every corner of every ruin, the bodies kept streaming towards the arrogant servants of the false god.
They will not take our homes. They must not be allowed to defile the shrines to the Star God and the true Emperor.
We will not let these oppressors leave this place in one piece. For the full-armed Emperor, this is our Ascension Day! Nick's turn 4 now. Dreadnought, Battleshock, okay, so is his Warden. Present score is actually 45-40 for Nick, as Nick has 3 unprimed objectives, Daniel has 2 primed. This is close. Virtus Praetors move, and the Kelermorph shoots them as they ended within 9 inches of him. Can he down one? He can!
And then she will make her D6 move away. Why did he move the bikes there? I need that place free. We have to kind of readjust the strategy to get this secret objective done.
Advancing?
Dreadnought moves in range of the Kelermorph. Now he overwatches. He needs a 6. There it is. Oh, it failed to wound. Oh, no.
Ow! Oh, that was like my best chance.
The Impulsor falls back. Tigurius may escape, but not until turn 5. Both Dreadnoughts move to take out the 5-man Acolyte squad. Ooh, that's a low advance roll for the Wardens. No advance charge for them.
All right, let's go to the shooting phase. The Achilles Dreadnought will fire its flamers into your Acolytes. Die, Acolytes! Yep.
Only kills 2 Acolytes.
Then it kills his Dread Spear. Doesn't wound with the Dread Spear. Dreadnought over here, in combat.
Contemptor in combat kills one of the Neophytes. Virtus Praetor firing at the Kelermorph picks her up.
That's what you get for killing my brother. Charge phase.
Charge now, Virtus Praetor makes his charge into the massive Neophyte blob. The Achilles is into the Acolytes. The Galatus reaches the Aberrants.
Let's fight. The Galatus tries to fight you first, hitting on 2s with sustained.
Oh, the Galatus is absolutely unaliving the Aberrants. That's really unfortunate.
I've got my bike, 5 attacks.
Whoa, Virtus Praetor takes out 7 Neophytes.
That was fast.
The Achilles Dreadnought into your 3 Neophytes.
All right.
You're all dead.
Fight over there.
All right.
Gonna kill that Dreadnought.
I love your optimism.
You don't need me to roll this, right?
You want me to just take him off?
Yeah, just take him off.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
fine.
okay.
Primus goes back into the Dreadnought, nothing.
I hate you back.
The Dreadnought picks up the Primus and then brings him down to the ground multiple times until he is pasted.
You like to fight the Praetor with all these guys.
Yeah. Whoa.
Down to 4. 3s.
Down to 3 wounds left.
That is the end of my turn.
End of Nick's turn 4. He's still got a 5-point lead and 2 command points. This is tight.
All right, so we go to your turn 4. There's very little left on the table. What do you think? Is that game?
I still have my secret mission, so I think I still have something I can pull out of the hat here. I think I can still do this. I have to be really cagey with where I place things.
3 Neophytes return to that unit. Acolytes move into the building, and it seemed that was his plan all along. That's the building Nick chose. I bet it's his secret mission target. Neophytes fall back to the objective.
This is gonna be a real quick shooting phase. Those guys can't shoot because they fell back. Those guys are going to do an action inside that building. We're just gonna put some barrels in there.
What's in the barrels?
Nice fresh Gatorade for at the end of the battle.
He detonates his secret objective plus. Every unit within 6 inches takes D3 mortal wounds. The Praetor goes down. The Dreadnought is wounded, and the Neophytes also take some hurt.
D3 mortal wounds from the explosion of the building. So 2 of them are dead. And then...
Another 2, 1 guy lives.
You have 1 guy left. Well, that's a lot of dead stuff.
That's my entire turn.
That was a great turn.
Both players have scored their secret objectives. Nick has the lead in command points 3-1 and a narrow 5-point lead on the scoreboard. The Moratoi's ancient aspects prove too much for the wayward cultists. They cannot hide from such relics of the Dark Age. Systematically, the Custodes root out the insurrectionists and burn them with holy fire. We will not let them find the Brood Sanctuary. We cannot allow our children, the descendants of the Star Gods, to be defiled and destroyed by these foul oppressors. Level the building. Leave no evidence for the tyrants.
All right, here we go. Turn 5, last turn of the game. Battle shock test. This is a big one because I want him to do stuff.
Nick's got to use insane bravery on his 1 wound dreadnought, but he's got command points to spare as he's still at 3 to Daniel's 2.
One more battle shock test to make for the 1 custodian guard.
It took till turn 5, but Tigurius makes it off the board. That means Tack will have him available, but not until turn 3 in the next game.
Nick tried really, really hard, and so I give him an A for effort.
Reinforcements against the Black Legion, and it might turn the tide. Tune in for the next game where Tack and Chaos Dan will be playing the part 2 of this mini campaign where we see if the Black Legion can be held off by the Ultramarines.
1 wound dreadnought advances a mighty 7 inches forward. Relentless persecution for a command point to be able to advance and charge. Overwatching for a command point, mining laser hits and wounds, and Nick fails to save, but the command reroll success. Still all the guns to go though.
Crack, grenades, hitting on 6s. Nothing. 2 flamers.
Flamer saved, small arms failed. Oh no. Galatas Dreadnought closes on the Neophytes now. Command point on Unstoppable for that last Venerable Dreadnought to be able to walk right through that wall.
I don't know if you noticed, but I have all 3 of the Venerable Dreadnoughts surrounding you. They're all gonna charge, and they're gonna murder this squad.
I'm gonna bank on your real terrible charges here to help me out.
In the shooting phase, the only thing I'm gonna do is take this Dreadnought and fire a Flamer into this 1 Acolyte.
Acolyte gets flamed. The Achilles unprimes the explosives on that far right objective.
In the charge phase,
Galatas charge fails.
I'm gonna declare a charge with this Venerable Dreadnought.
1 wound Contemptor is the victim of a deadly snare and it dies. Both players are out of command points.
Fine, the rest of his brothers will do the job. Boom! He's in!
Oh, what is this? He stands back up with 3 wounds remaining at the end of the charge phase.
And let's fight you. 4 hits. 4. Then the next Dreadnought does the same thing.
Wow, only 5 Neophytes and the Iconward left after all of that carnage.
Yeah, I gotta pile in. Hey, nothing. I think I will concede there. The McCraig's Worker Alliance cannot prime enough of these objectives to clear these roads for the good people.
It looks like had the Dreadnought been popped, that might have made a difference. The Achilles that unprimed the explosive has won the game for the Custodes. What a fun matchup. That was really back and forth. The outcome was always in doubt. I can't help but think if Daniel had primed explosives on turn 1, Ascension Day would finally have occurred in the Play On Studios.
That was an incredible game. I'm glad that I at least helped Chaos Dan. Hopefully Chaos Dan can pull out 1 win for us so we can go 1-1 and have to come back for the rubber match.
That building being gone is actually going to affect the next game as well, which means that you've actually destroyed some cover for Tack as well.
Tigurius will not be available for Tack in the next game until turn 3 because he did not get off the board until Nick's final movement phase.
I'm sorry, Tack. Don't hold it against me. I tried.
Perhaps the GENESTEALER cults have inadvertently done the work of chaos. Or maybe, just maybe, there's a force manipulating the skeins of fate behind the scenes. You'll have to check out our narrative at GameCon Canada to find out.
Thank you for playing.
Thank you, Nick.
Appreciate it very
Thanks for
much.
having us.
Thanks again to Deadly Print Studios for sponsoring this episode. We love all the cool battle effects, especially the explosions. Make sure to check out the link in the description below or go to deadlyprintstudios.com and help add a level of immersion to your game just like ours. And of course, a big thank you to you for watching. If you like what we do, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Or if you really like what we do, please consider supporting us through YouTube membership or Patreon. You'll get exclusive releases as well as behind-the-scenes interviews, early access to most of our shows, and access to our Discord, the most happening 40K community around. Well, that's it from all of us here at the Play On Studios. On behalf of them, it's me, JT the Voice, saying, until the next time you see us in the far-flung future of a grimdark universe, play on.